fruition. I got bars and ink, but never in a prison. Too far gone, never gon' sit and listen. This is optimism mixed with the best. You get it up. What you're seeing is a beast in the flesh. I'm vetted up. I don't need to try to speak for the.
Hey, what's going on, The Last of Us fans out there, and fans of the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and folks out there in general? This is Jeff S., a.k.a. True Knowledge. I'm the co-host of the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. We're here on 4/28/2025, Monday evening for us, right now, I guess, to do The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3. With me tonight, as always, my co-host, veteran content creator, Cyberneticshark. Appreciate you being here, sir. Good to see you again. After his excellent job moderating episode 2. I'm the pop culture guy, back again with us. Banging out another show. Knocking another one home tonight.
Yes.
It wouldn't be the same without him. Time Limit, the pop culture guys here. So guys, real quick, one quick question before we jump into the actual episode recap. Where are we at with Last of Us? So far we're almost halfway through the season. I believe it's only a 7-episode season, so we're almost halfway. Depending on what you want to call the halfway point of a 7-episode season, right? Cyber, I'll go with you first. How are you feeling about the show? Sir, I know you weren't too happy with the first episode. Has the show bounced back for you?
Last episode, it bounced back quite a bit. But then this episode was just a dud, I thought. I was bored to death with this episode. I thought it was just filler. And so I don't feel it was any better than the first episode. I think that it could have done so much more with it. They could have made it a little fun. I mean, I will give it credit at the very beginning. I was very happy about something when she's screaming, coming from, seeing Joel's death. I did appreciate that, her having to, be in getting something back for how annoying she is as a character. So I was really happy about that. But other than that, I thought pretty much the rest of the episode was a dud. So I'm back at where I was with episode 1. Went from a low to a high to a low again. So this has been fun so far. So it'll be interesting to see what episode 4 brings.
Sorry about the barking. Dodge is barking. JRed 2000, it's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you showed up. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Jared 2000 is with us. J-Rat, where are you at with The Last of Us, brother? We're 3 episodes in. That's almost mid-season, kind of, for a 7-episode season. So this is your first episode that you're doing with us this season, coming off season 1. What's your take so far on the show?
I like it. I'm okay. You need, in order to appreciate the ups, you have to go with the downs as well. I agree with Cyber. Like he said, the first 2 episodes were like straight to your face, and this one really slowed down. 100% agree with that. Filler episode, I agree. But again, I take it as like, you know what, you gotta have them so that way the next episode is just like even better, because all the episodes, the first 2 were like back to back, like just action, jam packed. And you brought up the part where she like was in the like, I guess like she was passed out and then she woke up screaming to like the image of him being killed again, right?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I just I liked it so far. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good. I've liked it so far too. Although I do think that episode 3 was totally a filler episode. What do you think, Andres?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty new to this show, so I really like the show so far. Season 2, I think it's definitely improvement over first season, I gotta say. But yeah, I mean, this is an HBO show. I mean, the good thing about this filler episodes they always do is like they're not short. Like at least they're decent enough to like
least, you know, develop the characters that we care about, and, you know, set up, you know, several things that's going to happen in the next course of episodes we're going to follow, you know, next week's, right, to review. And so I think that's very important. I mean, as Cameron said before, you know, that's the point about this episode. It's just like take a break after, you know, last week's episode. There was no way like this third episode gonna like, you know, make will be the next best thing, you know, like it had to like pull the brakes, you know, first, and then let's just like recover it. And yeah, so I enjoyed the episode. I like the aftermath of like seeing how the characters were reacting about Joel's death, and you know, and that was kind of cool. So yeah, I understand it, but it's not as bad as like other filler episodes that you and me and everyone had reviewed over the years. Like it wasn't that bad. Like it was a decent episode that just like, you know, was there, help us understand where our characters is at right now. And yeah, very excited to talk about this episode, you know.
That's a good point. We've definitely covered some much worse filler episodes than episode 3 of The Last of Us season 2. All right, so episode 3, The Path, basically is directed by Peter Hoare. Yeah, I guess it's Hoare. That's an interesting last name. Written by Craig Mazin, and essentially the way the Wikipedia blurb for the episode goes. 3 months later, Dina tells Ellie that the group will kill Joel. This is, of course, you know, after Ellie waking up in the hospital and, you know, the scream and all that, and, you know, her flashbacking to Joel's death and, you know, having to talk to the therapist lady, you know, and all that before she could get out of the hospital, right? She was in the hospital for 3 months. And Dina tells her, you know, the names of the members of the Washington Liberation Front, you know, and that they're based out of Seattle. Right. So, you know, Ellie goes to Tommy on her own to try to, you know, like, you know, establish some kind of like revenge, you know, mission or whatever, you know. And he's like, you know, oh, we got to put it to like the council, you know, like for a vote and all that, you know, like it's not something that you can just go do. We run into this, like this group of interesting characters walking through the woods, like somewhere. Like I guess near the city, near Jackson, these people that have these like cuts down the sides of their faces, you know, this like group of people, and they're using whistling as like a language, you know, and like that all of a sudden, like right before they close out on them, like they're in trouble, you know. That's all we know, you know. So I'll stop it there. I'll go to you first, J-Rat. What did you think of the opening of episode 3, sir?
Yeah, I mean, like again, I would have expected it to open slow. We just had like this big, you know, big moment in episode 2, so it's kind of gonna have to be slowed down. It's like like an explosion. You know, we got an explosion in episode 2, and right now the dust is settling. You know, so now we're in the dust settling part where, you know, everything's coming down. We got to, you know, assess the damage here. And that's what's happening here. We're assessing the damage of what happened here. We had the place burned down. They mentioned about the, you know, like, hey, we, you know, just going out and we can't just leave. You know, not only did Joel die, but like other people died in that village, you know. So like the brother, when she, you know, talks to the brother, about wanting to get revenge, you know, he reminds her like, hey, you know, it's, you know, I know him too. He was my brother. I know, you know, I feel for it, but I also got to be responsible and think of the greater good besides myself and what I want, you know. But obviously, she has an intention in her head. She's selfish. And in the sense that like she wants to do this for Joel because that's all she's ever known. He's, you know, taking care of her. So the beginning of that episode, you just know that whatever happens, she's going to do her own thing. You can just kind of see it all the way through, but you know, they got to play through the motions of how she's going to get there. And that's what I get from that. And then that group looks like a cult, like some weird cult that, you know, I'd never played the video game. I have no idea. I'm sure they're in the game because they do everything off of the game. But it looked like some type of cult group, and they got little hammers and shit. And I, you know, that's where I'm at with that beginning piece. I don't want to go too far.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Andres.
Those cult group called the Centipedes are from the game. I just watched a Easter egg kind of video that explains that these characters are from the Part 2 games. A religious cult as usual. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, we saw that in was it first season, right? With the guy named Dave, who was like a religious cult leader. So very typical, zombie apocalypse thing. We seen that with The Walking Dead as well. But it was so weird. Jeff, you brought up the scars. Like that was like it's the Heath Ledger like Glasgow smile like scars they had. So that was really creepy, and they were like I don't know like they almost like were Planet of the Apes type where like they're just using like not weapons but like arrows and like hammers. That was kind of intriguing. So very interesting group. I mean, I I saw that it was kind of like they were trying to parallel, that daughter and father uh cult people to what was going on with Ellie and Joel in the episode, which was kind of weird. Or Tommy and Ellie, if it more makes sense there. But yeah, the opening was really great. It was great to see the character, like seeing the aftermath of the affected attacking Jackson was like really cool. Seeing all the bodies, like seeing all the hospitals like getting crowded. Like it's almost like yet again apocalypse, like almost restarted yet again. How like the pilot was in the first season, and yeah, seeing Tommy, seeing Joel's body was kind of like really sad. Like, he had to like wash the body, which is kind of normal. When your dead ones pretty much passed, you had to get them ready to be properly say their goodbyes before they go to the ground, stuff like that. But yeah, so it was really sad. And Gabriel, a great actor, he definitely was the highlight of this episode. And yeah, then of course seeing Ellie getting better after that like huge attack on her and her body. Like one of the soldiers hit her in the stomach, which was really like whoa. And of course seeing her in that vision was kind of cool. Very good direction there. Um, yeah, I was so happy to see Catherine O'Hara back. She's a great actress. I mean, if you haven't seen Beauty Juice or, of course, the Home Alone films, I mean, she's great. And she's so funny. And just the way she knows, Ellie's lying throughout the episode, which we'll get into, stuff like that. It's like really cool. But yeah, so I thought this opening was good. It was just getting us back into the world, after that huge attack on, Jackson. So, good, interesting developments for our characters.
Okay. Cyberneticshark, sir.
My turn.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Refresh my memory where we're going to again.
The opening of the episode, the first like third of it, going up until the point where they have the town hall meeting, to like vote on the mission to go after the people that killed Joel or whatever, up to that point.
Okay. So, like I said before, this episode was very boring. The most exciting part was the very beginning there, like I said, when Ellie wakes up screaming and is seeing Joel being killed. And I think that's fantastic because it's showing pain for her, which I think she deserves because of just how bad she is as an actress. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was great. And it just made me really happy there for a second. But then as we got into the episode, it got kind of boring. We should see the brother looking at the dead body of Joel. We have her going and talking to Catherine O'Hara, which was kind of funny a little bit. But once again, Ellie is just annoying to me. And I just thought she was like, she just plays such a, she just really is like such a rude dick of a person, I feel. And that really bugs the hell out of me because like, I know you've been through some shit, but it doesn't give you a right to be a prick. And like, she keeps trying to act like she's like some dude too. And that kind of freaking annoys the hell out of me too. So at the same time, I'm just kind of like, ugh. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I think that it was very boring there. Even leading up to the town hall, her smelling his clothes and looking at his gun, and then the conversation she has with Isabella Monner. her, saying that she knows all the names of people. I was like, okay, yeah, I think that was a good idea not to tell her when she was first in the hospital after Joel's death. That was a great idea. And her acting all flippant and stuff, I was just like, oh God. But anyways, leading up to the town hall, I think the town hall itself is pretty interesting. I think that whole little sequence is fun. That definitely picked up the episode a little bit, I felt. But other than that, I didn't think the beginning was anything that great. And like I said, I thought it was very slow and boring.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It was sort of in all honesty, it's sort of a slow and boring episode to some extent because there really was no action at all. And there was no infected stuff or anything like that, to work with either. You know what I'm saying? So like, those are the things that drive action on the show, and kind of like, add a little bit of a spark to the episode. So I'm sure we'll see some stuff go down in episode 4 without question. But it's unfortunately there's a little bit of a imbalance right now with these episodes in terms of like, how good they are so far. It's kind of on and off. But so where we end up at in the episode is when they end up having at a town hall meeting. Several townspeople oppose sending a group to Seattle to track, them down, the Washington Liberation Front people. And Ellie reads a letter persuading the townspeople to send the group out of justice, not revenge. But the town council rejects the proposal. As Ellie gathers weapons to leave for Seattle alone, Dina tells her that she will join, bringing appropriate supplies and planning a travel route. Seth, who vocally supported Ellie during the town hall, helps them to leave Jackson. So I'll stop there. And I'll go back over to you, Cyber. What did you think, Cyber, of the episode as it progressed, forward after, that intro that you just opined on? The middle part, or the second third of the episode. What did you think of that?
All right. So just like the first section, like I said, the town meeting kind of made it a little better, kind of made it interesting. And then once again, they brought in some new characters. We see those people walking in the forest, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I'm like, we already got enough people that we're dealing with here, and then you're gonna throw in some more people. I'm like, we got the Firefly people, we got these people, we got the town people. I'm like, oh God. And so I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I mean, people walking in a forest. Oh, am I watching Lord of the Rings? Warner Brothers, hello. And anyways, so, moving, on from that, I just, once again, it was kind of like lackluster for me. Like, as we mentioned, no action or infected in this episode. A lot more story based this episode is. I still don't find it very interesting. I'm not finding any of this like knowledge like really bringing it to me, and like I was finding it hard to want to pay attention really because it was just kind of too slow for me. I like when it's about the infected. I like that. That's what drew me to wanting to watch the show. And if I known this is how the video games were, I probably would have never played the video games. And thankfully I really haven't. Because I probably would have started playing it and then finding out about Ellie and everything. I would have been like, yeah, I'm not interested anymore. It just one of those things. Like I was like, I can't believe this is based off of a video game half the time I'm watching it. So as I'm going on here, going along to basically your end point of the half section, I was like, okay. And then we got more of, them talking, and I'm like, oh God, I'm falling asleep here. It was so hilarious. Like I was like literally going, how can you go from such a great episode to this piece of garbage? I'm like, what are you guys smoking over there at HBO? Like Max makes such great TV shows all the time. Like look at The Sopranos, look at, Game of Thrones, many great shows, Boardwalk Empire, stuff like that. And then they put out this crap and I'm just like, what happened? Like, you guys can make such epic stuff, and you could do so much epic with this video game from, what I've seen of like walkthroughs and stuff like that. Like, you could make this into something really freaking awesome. And the first season did not help me going into this, season at all, because of how, it was up and down, just like in this season so far. So I was kind of like, okay. But anyways, leading up to your endpoint, sir, I once again, just boring for me, just boring, and that's pretty much it.
I feel you, sir. I feel you. Hopefully the show will bounce back, in episode 4, and we'll have a solid end of the season, I don't like it when the episodes are boring or slow either, personally. I mean, I really like the first season of The Last of Us, I just feel like, the season 2 so far, the energy's been a little bit inconsistent on the show so far. But what do you think, J-Ret 2000? What are your thoughts?
I just want to say the word boring, since everybody's using that word. I want to say boring as well. No, but the town hall thing, yeah, it's slow. I get it. I don't hate it. I mean, it's just politics in the show. It's just story, dialogue building, character development, and a lot of that stuff is kind of boring and slow. I mean, it wasn't an episode like we got, again from the first two. The part that I thought was kind of dumb, I didn't understand, was the gentleman who spoke up for them. The one that like was talking about them being gay in the church or whatever at the dance, and all of a sudden he was standing up for them. Like, oh yeah, they got one of ours. We need to get one of them. After he like pushed him on the floor not that long ago and made him apologize. I didn't understand why all of a sudden he was sticking up for them. Like, there was no.
Yeah, that was kind of forced.
I mean, maybe there is some more story there that's in the game that we don't see, or like something else that we don't know, like his history from prior. Like, maybe he's known them before and that incident was just like a hiccup. And so then this kind of overs, but like we don't really see his character involved with them other than the first time when he like, causes a scene with them kissing in the at that party or whatever, at the church or whatever. And all of a sudden he's standing up for them, standing up for Joel and them in the next episode to like, yeah, we should do this. We gotta, protect our own and do this and that. I thought that was kind of dumb. But like, I just, I'm going like, okay, you know what? That's fine. Whatever. Just let's get the story going. No point to dwell on it. And the build up, or the part, I think we mentioned the part where, did we get to the part already where she already grabbed the gun and she sniffed his coat, right? She was sniffing his boots, something like that.
Yeah, like
it
was like after she left the hospital, she went to his house.
Okay, and of course that's where like the psychiatrist was telling her about like, oh, you don't have any problems. Everybody's fucked up here except you. And then she mentions about that he saved her. That was one of his things that he was upset about, is that or not upset, but that he felt bad about, is that he saved her, and that was one of the reasons why he felt the way he did about certain things. Did you think she knew what that meant when he said when the psychiatrist told Ellie that?
No, I didn't think so.
You don't think she got it like right away, even though she was like very dismissive, like, oh well, he saved me plenty of times.
No, because she has no memory of what happened with that whole situation.
Yeah,
she has a sense that something happened, like she doesn't know what happened with the Firefly massacre for first season. She just knows something that Joe is not telling Ellie is causing this strain. Like, she knows that part. She doesn't know about the the thing with the season 1 finale. So
yeah.
So like, she just has this hunch, is like, okay, something happened with you two, with some event that he hasn't brought up during our sessions.
The only way she's gonna find out is if the Firefly people or whatever, you know, tell her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's the only way she'll find out now.
Yeah.
Anyways, J-Rap, what else? Did you have anything else to say?
No. That's about it as far as those scenes go.
Okay, sir. I appreciate it. Audrey's a pop culture guy.
Okay, so the meaning. Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I don't think this episode was boring. It was just very slow. I mean, I don't know what's the difference between slow and boring, but it was very slow for me. But then there was like a lot of like it was just like very typical things that like was going on. I was like, come on, like all of us knew that Ellie was gonna have her revenge. It's like that's part of the game. So I was like surprised that we had this like town meeting. She has to, you know, plead the people to send 16 people, which I'm kind of like, why you want 16 people to go after these four or five people that killed Joel? You know, like just send like at least 9 or I don't know 6 people, but. So that was very funny for me. I was like, "Oh my god!" And you know, seeing the the douchey, bigot, like not like he's not in favor of Ellie, but like he is in favor of her to like to send these like a cavalry to go against these outsiders because he has a point that if they go over there, then Raiders or some other group will attack them again because they will see that they were weak. So I get what he was trying to say in that meeting, but I got to say it was very silly that Ellie had to like compel the board to say, like please help me get my revenge of Joel, which I mean it was not gonna happen. So it was kind of stupid that after that scene we see her like getting ready to leave, right, to like go do her revenge. So I thought that was kind of like a very like weird scene to have, and like we all know that she was gonna go out to Seattle, where the those 5 people were going with the military group, the Wolves, right? But I gotta say, the one thing that I liked this episode that was like very good was Deneen. Great character. I really like her. I think she's the best part about this episode. When she, came in to her house and like she would go with her and go to Seattle because she knew like a couple of things about it. It was great to hear Eugene, Kevin O'Hara's husband, or her dead husband that maybe we're gonna see in this season. Hopefully, because Joel killed him before this season, so I'm very curious about that. So, because he relied on like some information about like the current military group that were the former Fireflies, now called the Wolves, right? And so they don't know yet if they're like a big military group, which we'll see later on. So I think her character has been my favorite so far with this season too. So far I've been enjoying the secondary characters. I thought Jesse was funny. He was great. We confirmed that he's in the board of counselors in the township, so that's interesting. And he did help out Ellie to like form the speech and say that don't be angry, because that like people don't like that. Just present yourself and then explain why you want to do this. So I like Jesse as well, and so yeah. So this section is not like my favorite. Seeing the this is where just want to make sure my okay, yeah. So overall, I think the second half was okay. Very silly part on Ellie to like convince the townspeople. Eventually, she was gonna kill her Joel's murderers anyway. So that was very silly. So overall, it was okay section of this episode.
Okay, thank you, Andres. So all right. Okay, so the following morning, Ellie leaves coffee beans on Joel's grave. And later on, she and Dina encounter a group of dead Seraphites, including a young child, the sight of which causes Dina to vomit. They arrive in Seattle and note the lack of WLF members. Meanwhile, a convoy of dozens of soldiers march through the streets of Seattle with several armed vehicles. and and armed soldiers and everything and whatnot, and that is the WLF right there. So that's it. That's the end of episode 3, the path right there. JRAT 2000. What are your thoughts, sir, on that ending third of the episode there?
The part where she kind of throws up, I thought that was kind of dumb, to be honest with you. Out of all the things that have happened in the world and all the killings of all these like zombies and seeing dead people, this was the thing that made her throw up all of a sudden now. Like, she's never seen that before. I couldn't believe her being a scout and all the things that she's done and seen that was going to make her throw up. So, first and foremost, I thought that was dumb. Interesting to find out that group, that cultist group, got killed. I don't know why they were killed or why they killed the children. I guess we'll find out in the next episode. That military group looks pretty cool. I like the scene of them going there, and it looks like they're a pretty large army. They look like a big group. It's going to have some action in the next episode. So, kind of reiterate from what I said. We came from right off the top of the roller coaster, and we came straight down to the bore. We had fun going all the way down, and then this episode was kind of going slow, going all the way up. And right now, I think we're at the top, and we're about to go straight down again into this next one. So I think we'll get some action here for sure. Will it be as good as the first 2 episodes? To be determined. But I think it's leading up into something good. And then we'll have to see how they do it for the next ones after that, because if I'm anticipating that it's going to be a hot episode, I'm assuming they might all be pretty, pretty extreme.
Okay, most definitely, sir. All right. I'm just a pop culture guy. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I think the finale was a good setting up for this episode. Nothing special. Yeah, I mean, actually, I'll have an argue. I disagree with Jared. Like, yes, they're in the apocalypse universe, and they've seen that zombies and their friends and loved ones are infected, but we don't know like how far Deneen has seen the horror of apocalypse. She hasn't seen yet all those like crazy, horrific things that like good example, Ellie. Ellie's seen the cruel and horrific things that she has experienced in her lifetime. I mean, she almost got raped and almost got killed by that crazy cult leader in first season. So like Denise is gonna experience like a lot more like cruel and horrific things now moving forward, because now she's in this territory of like unknown like crazy people out there, because she was sheltered in that Jacksonville, and we don't know like what was her life before she was in Jacksonville and all that. So I was like, why she throw up? And then of course we saw the scene with the kids, and look, I mean, when you see a kid, that is like really shocking that they actually kill a kid. I mean, she had a hammer, so like she was a threat to whoever came into that that thing, either the wolves or some other unknown group that we haven't met yet. So or the infected, we don't know about that. So yeah, and you see Ellie's reaction, like she's not new, she's seen like a lot of deaths, so she's like more comfortable seeing that image of a kid dead, because that's nothing new to her. So yeah, so I think that scene was very powerful, because seeing the different juxtaposition between someone that's already experienced death so many times, and one that's being immune to the affected. You got this other one that doesn't know she's infected. So I'm very curious when she's going to find out about that. And has experience of horror stuff, but like not the extent outside. So and then obviously when Ellie meets the grave, that was really a good touch. Putting the coffee beans, like because she was that was Sarah's surrogate father, all those years, despite the strained relationship they had over the 5-year jump. I really like that scene. I like how the cinematography was similar to the first scene of this episode when we see Dro's dead body when Tommy was coming in to that store, whatever the bodies were at. So that was really cool. Just prediction, parallels between those scenes. And of course we saw Danny the kid from Falcon with the Soldier, the new psychic for Falcon. I was like, oh my god, this kid again. And then he's like complaining about his job and just like, oh yeah, you're gonna pass that area. And then we see a horde of soldiers of this new military group that we've been teasing about. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, so I'm very curious about what we're gonna have this week. I mean, we're gonna get more infected, so that's good. I seen the behind scenes stuff. Several things that are from the games. I mean, the part 2 never really took time with the aftermath of Joel, because like in the games, they Ellie went after Abby right after Joel gets killed. There was never a 5-month jump that we had in this episode. So yeah, it's very different from the games part 2. Just looking at my notes today. But yeah, so overall, good finale. Nothing special. It just did its job, and I'm very excited to talk about the other episodes. That's a bit more exciting for us to talk about.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Cyberneticshark, sir.
So the conclusion is just as entertaining as the rest of the episode. Very slow, and just more of kind of walking and talking, which I don't mind a good walking, talking film. Don't get me wrong. I like some of those kind of movies and stuff like that, but it's got to be a little more entertaining than this. I mean, at least with the Lord of the Ring films, they definitely were more entertaining because we had, Ents popping in, we had trolls, we had orcs, we had things popping in that made it entertaining. This is just kind of like two people talking to each other, walking through the woods. Like, I could go out into nature and watch that. Why is that entertaining? I don't know. But anyways, so I think that, the finale, the final part of this episode is just as boring as the rest of it. Didn't find it really that interesting. I think the only thing that I will give kudos to, like Andrea said, that we will be getting more infected. I do have to give kudos to that and say that did make a sharp little like ooh like type of feel. So definitely looking forward to more to that. But other than that, I got nothing else for you. But it was boring.
Okay. Well, Cyber, one last question, sir. At episode 3, then we can just we'll get it off our minds. I promise. Very soon. Give me your rating of the episode, sir. I know it's not going to be very good.
Well, compared to the first one, this one will be a little higher. So I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. All right. Andre, some pop culture guy. Rating.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It was a decent episode. Look, I seen The Walking Dead. There was always talking and walking. Okay, Jeff can vouch for me. So many scenes of like talking and walking,
and there was lots of blood and guts though, so that made it so much better.
Oh yeah. Have you seen season 2 of The Walking Dead with the farm? Oh my god, it was just anyway. That's all I had to say. 7 out of 10. Oh my god. Anyway, that's all. I just have to say. I'm speechless now.
All right.
Got your tongue tied, sir? Got a tongue tie there?
I think that I'm going to go with a 6.5 personally for episode 3. JRod 2000, what do you got, sir?
I'll go with a 6.5 as well. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was all right, so yeah, I'll go with the 6. I think that's fair. 6 to 6.5.
Okay. Thank you very much, J-Red. All right, so that's it, folks. That is the wrap-up of The Last of Us. It was very quick, which I said in the studio it was probably going to be. That is the end of our episode 3 recap of The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3. Thank you so much, folks, that appreciate our recaps of The Last of Us Season 2 so far. Do wonderful things, of course, like follow and rate the podcast that we are, the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. Subscribe, leave us a comment, all those good things. JRun 2000, thanks for coming on with us tonight, brother. We appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we can get you back on for another episode of The Last of Us at some point before we get to the end of the season. But
next week.
Yeah, whenever you want to come on, brother.
Lock me in for next week. I'll finish this one out.
All right, man. Yeah, we can put you on this week. No problem. All right. So let's do our plugs, and then we'll get out of here and call this one a night. Andre's the pop culture guy. You can go first.
Yeah. Anyway, just want to say, J-Rant, thank you for coming tonight. So Andreas Pop Culture Channel Presents. Recently, we did our live stream review on Age of Ultron. Thank you, Jeff, for joining me yesterday. Please enjoy that crazy show that was Age of Ultron, the 10th anniversary talk. Doing very well, actually, going up to 31 reviews, so that's kind of cool. Shocking. So we did a couple great discussions there. We did trailer reactions, a couple of new trailers that recently came out this month, like 28 years later. Fantastic Four First Steps, and Alien Earth. Those were the trailer reactions we did. So expect that as a separate review later in the month. Soon I will post my Joker 85th anniversary tribute. That's the Prince of Crime's 80th anniversary this year, but also Catwoman's, Robin's as well, because they all appear in the first solo Batman issue in Batman issue 1 back in 1940. So please check out more of those later and check out my shorts as well. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. And posting a lot of movie clips and all that for the individual characters that have their anniversaries, like the Joker, Catwoman, and Zane. Hopefully soon, Robin as well. And a couple of Magneto as well. So that's where I'm at right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andres. Cyberneticshark, sir.
Well, as always, folks, if you enjoy me here on the panel or as a moderator, you can check out my solo content. You'll find me under Cyberneticshark. You'll find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, Threads, X, all those great places. And if you check it out, you can see my most recent video there is, of course, the trailer reaction to the upcoming live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. Or if you haven't seen the new Steven Soderbergh films, Black Bag, you check out that review there of that film as well. Those were my most two recent. I have another review coming up very soon to be up in the next day or so. So keep your eyes out for that. My shorts, of course, have been pretty much the same. Sisters is still, and Y2K are still the two that I have most recently put up. So if you haven't seen any of those little compilations there, check them out. Little minute reviews there for you guys, all that good stuff. And as always, thank you for watching us. Thank you for coming here to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge and checking out our reviews of these TV shows and so forth. And we appreciate you guys. And keep on watching all of us here, from me to Andreas to Jeff here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge to Mr. J-Rant. So check us all out.
All right. Speaking of J-Rant 2000, he has a podcast. He's not active right now. His last episode was from 6/26/2024, and I was on that episode. But J-Rant, you still get to do your plugs for your podcast, brother, even though you're not pumping episodes out.
Thanks. Yeah, guys. We're down. We're not out. We're taking a break, a hiatus, but you can listen to some good content that has been posted a while ago, and you can kind of catch up on that before anything else starts. You can listen on Apple. You can listen on Spotify. You can even check out my Facebook page. I got a couple of funny things on there. You can say hello. Check it out, and then message me and say, hey, when are you going to do it again? And then I'll tell you, probably not in a while.
Well, J-Rant, we're always down to come on and guest with you for your brother.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. You got Ahsoka on there. I can't believe it's crazy that it was seems like it was forever ago since Ahsoka happened. All right. Well, everybody, I really appreciate everybody coming on tonight. Andre, Cyber, JRed2000, thanks for coming on, brother. A good, nice short show. Hopefully episode 4 of The Last of Us season 2 will be a better episode. I'm sure it will be. Hopefully more action, more infected. In the meantime, folks, we appreciate everybody out there tonight catching us live. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will see you on Andor episode 2 on Friday evening. Back again on next Monday for The Last of Us episode 4 with JRed2000.
Yep.
Peace.
Here.
We're out of here.
Bring the band in.